Welcome everybody to this edition of Attention Talk Video. I'm your host, ADHD and Attention Coach Jeff Copper, and today I'm here to talk about creativity, and what I love is the land of unicorns. As a coach, people come to me often and we're working on an issue and we begin to understand something about them, like that they always pay attention to. So for example, a verbal processor. This is an individual with ADHD who finds it much easier to think if they're actually talking out loud. And when I'm talking to them and we're realizing how efficient their executive function is and how efficient they get things done and how talking out loud helps them solve problems and move past procrastination, they often begin to witness that, but they jump to the outcome, and that is I've got to be talking to somebody all the time. And I find when I'm working with people, I'm mostly focused on what is your natural process of getting some things done. I really don't care very much for the outcomes. Let me put that back. I don't focus on outcomes. I focus on the process to get you to the outcomes. So if you got a person with ADHD who's very, very verbal, often they're going to jump to the end, but I can't do that with everybody. And it's fun because in those particular situations, I always invite them, let's go to the land of the unicorns. It's one of my favorite places because after all, unicorns live there. And we began to talk about, give me that perfect scenario that works great. Anything can go. And this is very much about a creativity exercise for a person to come up with solutions that they wouldn't ordinarily come up with. So if you go to YouTube and search Attention Talk Video Walmart, you'll hear a video that I described about an individual that I coach who didn't want to be a verbal processor. And that particular video tells the story of how one day he was driving down the road and saw a Walmart, and all of a sudden he had metaphorically gone to the land of unicorns and had a great idea and went in and verbally processed to one of the greeters. I encourage you to go check that out. But the story I want to tell you right now is I was actually mentor coaching another individual to become an ADHD life coach. And we were talking about coming up with creative outcomes, and they were really struggling with the process. And it was kind of funny because I was asking them to coach me on my back deck. I have a little pond behind me and a lot of birds perched there, and I get a lot of bird feces all over my deck. And I'm like, I want to do something about this and I don't really know what to do. And she was trying to solve the problem for me. And I said, no. Let's just back up and get kind of wacky. Like, say, Jeff, imagine a limousine rolled up to your house and a woman got out of it. Like, what would it look like? I said, well, it'd have to be a good looking woman that's in a tuxedo that'd be white. And she was like that? Yeah. I said, yeah. And you say, if she walked up to the door and she had a silver platter on it with the answer to your question, what would you do? And it was funny, I was like, well, I'd answer the door. And she said, and what would the answer be in the silver platter? I opened up and I said, actually, you know what it'd be? It would be a telephone number to a bunch of bird people who understand bird. I forget the name is escaping me, but you have arborers who are focused on trees. I'm talking somebody who would actually understand birds. And it was interesting because in that moment, it came to me in that second that, hey, that's actually a legitimate thing to do. And the person I was working with was taken back by it a little bit. And I said, yes, when you really open up your mind and get really wacky, that's where creativity lives. That's where all the not so obvious solutions are to things that you think that are obvious. And so I encourage those with ADHD is often it's sometimes you've got to let go of the focus of the outcome and the end game, focus on the process and try to think of the wackiest things that you can do. Because after all, a lot of them might not work. If you do 10 or 20 or 30, it really doesn't matter because you just need one. Just one to work and you're good to go. I use this concept in my coaching practice every day. Again, when we're starting to find something that works and we need to implement it, it's come on, let's go to the land of the unicorns. After all, unicorns exist there. Anything can work. And when you come up with the ideas, then you can bring them back to where we are. Again, if you've listened to a lot of my videos, you know I like to pay attention to attention, and creativity is one of the things that will set you free. It sounds like it's a little silly, but it's very, very powerful. We hope you've enjoyed this insight. We hope that you've learned something from this video. Please subscribe to us by hitting the subscribe button, and please leave comments. I'm always interested in what your thoughts are about this, about what we're doing, and often they spur other great ideas. So with that, hope you've enjoyed this edition of Attention Talk Video. Take care.